Welcome to this Qualoupe class in which we're going to look at results entry. We're going to look at this in the Sample Manager, which is the screen you see open in front of you. This sample that I have loaded is status N. I've loaded this one just to show you that in the results entry tab, although we can see the results that are due for this sample, we can't enter any results because the status is still at N. It needs to be at least P for pending. This is to allow you to have a status N where your sample is created within your Qualoupe system, the record exists, but P signifies pending. In other words, it's waiting for results, which generally means the physical sample is in your lab and ready for testing. You can skip the N stage completely in the system settings by setting up new samples to be created automatically at status P. So if I save the changes, that's now set to status P, and you can see from the colour of all the results has changed from grey to green or white, but basically not grey anymore, which means I can now enter some results. So let's put some results in. So the first result has got a drop-down arrow, and if I click on that, this result looks up from a pick list, and I have two possible answers: conforms or does not conform. So I'm going to choose conforms. The status changes to E to tell us the result has been entered, and we've got result and formatted result. If there's formatting to be applied, additional formatting, like number of decimal places, for example, then that will be reflected in the value that appears in this field. So I'll put some more results in. So I'm going to start at the bottom here. So if I put in some values into here, you can see these go in. Well, each of these is parts per million. That has no decimal places, so that's the formatted result looks the same as the entered result. I'm going to save the changes. Now, as I've saved the changes, you can see the sample status has gone from P to B. B indicates it's begun, as this little pop-up shows you, and this means you've started putting results in here. Once you've put results in for a method, whether it's all the results or one or two out of the results that are expected, you can't then delete that method from the sample. So in methods you've got a chance to add methods and delete methods, but you can't delete ones that have already had testing done. Right, okay, I'll put some more in. Now I have got some limits set up on here. So I believe that the first few parameters I've got a limit of 300, which says that the result I enter has got to be less than 300. So if I put in 400, you can see a couple of things have happened. Number one, the background has been shaded with this hash design, and the information button on the end has gone red. As you can see, if I hover my mouse over it, it tells you it's failed the specification limit because the result is less than 300. If I actually click on the info button, it shows you more general information about your parameter, and there's the limit, and it shows me the limit type is less than, the value is 300. So in other words, it's just giving me the information again. Because I'm logged in as the administrator, I've got the abilities to edit the limits in here. Normal everyday users wouldn't have these. These would be greyed out. Right, I'll continue. If I put a result in for iron, which doesn't break the limits, you can see the info button has gone green. And again, if I hover it, it'll give you more info. In this case, it just says click for more information about this parameter. You see these ones down here, zinc. I've entered a result. That's not broken any limits, but the info button has stayed blue because there are no limits on that parameter. So let's break another limit here. Let's another high one. So you can see it's shaded in to show the limits have been broken. Same thing again. So if I just put in some more results and save the changes, the sample status is still B because I've got one more result to go in here. These ones are all entered, so my final result to go in is pH. Now pH, I happen to know, has got warning limits on it. So if I put in a result that's going to break a warning limit, the background is shaded, but you see this time it's shaded in yellow. The shadings lean to the left rather than the right, so you can easily spot them, tell them from the ones that have broken fail limits, and the button is yellow. So if I click on that, it tells me I've got detection limits and the value's got to be greater than or equal to 4, less than or equal to 10. Because my result was 11, it's greater than 10, so it's broken the fail limits. Now I have all the results entered. If I save the changes, the sample status goes to C for completed. So, a couple of other things to show you in here. So if that was a typo, and actually I hadn't meant to put in 11 at all, I'd meant to put in 6. If I clear the result and type in what I meant to put in, you can see the result has changed, but it's flagged it with M for modified. So if I save the changes, you can tell I've modified it. And if I was to click through to here, in the audit trail, you can see it's got result. So the first result, when this was created, where are we? We put a value in of 11, and then up here it's been changed. The old value is 11, the new value is 6. So the previous values are kept a record of in the system. So I'm now going to navigate to another method and show you something else. So I didn't mean method, I meant sample, sorry. I loaded up 5 samples, so if I go to the next one, here's another sample, status P. There is a fill with defaults button here. If default values or default text have been set up for your results, you can quickly assign the default to all the results with one click. It's only been set up for one parameter here, so if I click on that, you can see that appearance automatically populates with conforms because that's got a default set, the rest of them don't. So that was just something else to show you in here. Also, I've been putting in a result that breaks a limit, and I'm saying, oh look, here it is, it breaks a limit, and if I click onto here, you can look up and see what the limit is. But there is another button here, Sample Overview, which shows you what all the limits are on all the parameters on this sample. So if I click on that, just wait a moment for the screen to open up. There we go. It's showing you the name of the method, the name of the parameter, and any limits that apply. So the metals method, these 4 parameters have got a specification limit less than, I just have to scroll this way a bit, there's the value. pH is shown twice because the single parameter has got an upper limit, so it's a lower limit and an upper limit. It reads the result must be greater than or equal to 4, less than or equal to 10. So you can come in here and have a quick overview of what all the limits are on your sample for each parameter. So I shall close that. So that's all I'm going to say about results entry by sample. You can enter results by method. There is a separate Qualoupe class going through that, and the same rules apply entering by method as they do entering by sample. It's just another way of laying out and presenting the data. So I'll conclude this class for now. Thank you for watching.